is the ultimate test. It's life's way of asking you, do you really want this? Everyone claims they want success, power, strength, freedom, but very few are willing to bleed for it. That's because most people see pain as something to avoid. They think it's a sign that something's wrong. They think pain is a punishment. But the top 1%, the real killers, they know something different. Pain is a privilege. It's the arena where greatness is born. It's the toll gate on the road to dominance. You either pay with pain or you stay mediocre forever. The average man flinches when he feels pressure. The real one, he grits his teeth and steps forward. Because he knows that pain is a currency, and the more of it you're willing to endure, the more life pays you back with power. Growth doesn't come from comfort. Strength doesn't come from ease. Power doesn't come from relaxation. These things are forged in fire, in sacrifice, in silence, and in blood. The weak man waits for things to feel right. He wants things to be fair. He prays for an easy path, but the path to power is paved with broken nights, doubted dreams, and failures that make most people quit. But that's the filter. That's the test. The ones who survive it don't just survive, they evolve. They don't avoid pain. They build a relationship with it. They let it chisel away at their softness until only steel remains. Think about the gym. Your muscles don't grow unless you break them down. That burn, that's not a signal to stop. That's the signal that you're doing it right. Life is the same. Emotional pain, mental pain, financial pain. If it's pushing you, it's preparing you. Every rejection, every betrayal, every moment of humiliation is a weight on the bar. You either lift it and get stronger, or you drop it and stay weak. The problem with most people is they spend their entire life trying to avoid discomfort. They build routines that numb them. They chase dopamine, validation, and cheap highs so they don't have to face reality. They avoid the pain of self-reflection, the pain of sacrifice, the pain of rebuilding themselves from the ground up. And that's why they stay average. That's why they settle, because they believe the lie that comfort is happiness. But comfort isn't happiness. It's the slow death of your potential. You want to be exceptional. You better start respecting pain. You better start using it, because pain is the truth. Pain shows you what needs to change. Pain shows you what you're made of. When you get punched in the mouth by life, you discover very quickly whether you're a man or a mouse, whether you fold or you fight, whether you cry or you conquer. And that moment, that raw, painful moment, is when real identity is built. You see, life isn't about avoiding the storm. It's about becoming the storm. About walking into the fire with a grin, knowing you're getting better, harder, sharper. When things fall apart, that's your chance to rise. When people doubt you, that's your chance to prove them wrong. Not by whining, not by talking, but by working, bleeding, grinding, until there's no denying your dominance. Nobody successful was spared from pain. The difference is they didn't run from it. They ran toward it. They used it. They looked pain in the eye and said, "Is that all you've got?" And then they kept going. Every scar became a badge. Every bruise became a story. Every failure became fuel. That's the formula. Pain into power, struggle into strength, humiliation into hunger. You're not supposed to have it easy. You're supposed to struggle, because the struggle teaches you. The struggle humbles you. The struggle builds a beast out of you. Every time you survive pain, you collect proof that you're capable of more. And the more pain you can handle, the more you grow beyond limits. The average man never touches. People out there are soft. They panic at discomfort. They give up at the first sign of resistance. You don't want to be like them. You want to become the exception. You want to walk differently, speak differently, think differently. You want to walk into a room and people feel something off you because you've walked through things they couldn't survive. You've endured what they avoided. That's energy. That's power. That's earned through pain. And the beauty is, once you get this, once you flip the script and start using pain as your edge, nothing can stop you, because then you become untouchable. Failures don't faze you. Rejection doesn't crush you. Hard days don't break you, because you've already decided, I will suffer until I win. I will bleed until I break through. I will carry more than anyone else. Because that's the price of becoming a lion in a world full of sheep. This world doesn't care about your feelings. It rewards the ones who can fight, who can endure, who can rise without applause. So stop expecting it to be fair. Stop waiting for it to be easy. Embrace the hard. Embrace the heavy. Embrace the lonely road, because that's where men are made. That's where legends are born. So the next time you feel pain, real pain, don't run. Smile, lean in. Understand that it's there to shape you, sharpen you, and strip away every ounce of weakness you still carry. You're not a victim, you're a weapon. Act like it, fight like it, win like it, through pain, because pain is the only way. The world's not going to hand you success. You take it, you suffer for it, and when you get it, you'll know why it was worth it. Now stop flinching, and keep working. Weakness is not a curse, it's a choice. That's the truth. People don't want to hear. They would rather believe they're victims of circumstance than accept that every day they are choosing their own mediocrity. The modern world has made it easy to stay weak, comfortable, safe. It hands out excuses like candy. It's your childhood, they say. It's your environment. It's not your fault, but at some point you have to stop blaming everything around you and start looking in the mirror. Because if you're still weak today, it's because you haven't done what it takes to be strong. You've chosen it, consciously or not. Weakness feels good for a while. It gives you a free pass to avoid pain, to avoid accountability. You can sit around, do nothing, and tell yourself, you're just not ready yet. You can post motivational quotes and talk about self-care while your potential rots. You can keep blaming your boss, your parents, your genetics, your ex, the economy, anyone but yourself. But guess what? None of it changes the fact that you're still stuck, still soft, still average. And here's the part that stings the most. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about your excuses. Nobody's coming to rescue you. You're not entitled to anything just because you're struggling. The world rewards action, not pity. The world respects power, not weakness. The world bows to those who build themselves up, not to those who cry about why they can't. If you're broke, if you're out of shape, if you're lost, if you're lazy, there's only one solution. Work. Hard work. Not occasional, not emotional, not when you feel like it. Relentless, non-negotiable, disciplined work. The kind that burns. The kind that demands sacrifice. The kind that breaks the chains of comfort and turns you. You see, weakness is seductive. It whispers in your ear that you can try tomorrow, that you've already done enough, that you deserve rest, even if you haven't earned it. But strength, it doesn't whisper. It roars. It demands you rise even when you're broken. It commands you to show up, even when everything in you says quit. Strength doesn't accept your excuses, and neither should you. Let's get one thing straight. Your feelings are not facts. Just because you feel tired, feel scared, feel unsure, doesn't mean you get to act on it. Winners don't care how they feel. They get it done regardless, because they understand that consistency kills weakness. You can't wish your way out of weakness. You can't cry your way out. You outwork it. You face it. You crush it daily. Most people don't want to win. They want to feel good. They want the appearance of strength without the struggle. They want praise without pressure. And that's why they stay soft. They build identities around being real and authentic, when really they are just avoiding the fire. But fire here is where strength is forged. If you want to become powerful, you have to walk through that fire willingly. There is no shortcut. There's no hack. You become strong by embracing the grind. You train when it's boring. You study when it's hard. You build when no one claps. Because that's how greatness is made. That's how warriors are built. Not in applause, but in silence. Not in comfort, but in suffering. And most importantly, not by chance, but by choice. Every time you hit snooze instead of rising, you choose weakness. Every time you eat garbage, instead of fueling yourself like an athlete, you choose weakness. Every time you waste time scrolling, gossiping, escaping, you're casting your vote to stay average. Every second you let pass without purpose is a second you feed the version of you that loses. And here's the thing, your competition isn't sleeping. Someone out there was hungrier than you, more disciplined or obsessed. While you're making excuses, they're making progress. While you're skipping days, they're stacking wins. You'll see them soon, on the podium, in the arena, on the throne, and you'll wonder why it's not you. But deep down, you'll know, you didn't pay the price. You chose weakness, when you should have chosen war. But here's the good news. Strength is also a choice. Every day you wake up, you have a chance to flip the switch, to stop settling, to start attacking, to put the world on notice that you're not here to survive. You're here to dominate. You do that by earning your confidence, not faking it, earning it through action, through results, through battle scars. You walk into every room knowing you've already done what 90% of people are too lazy to even start. That's power. That's real self-respect, not empty affirmations, but proof. And proof comes from pain, from grind, from sacrifice. So the next time you catch yourself falling into weakness, complaining, delaying, coasting, snap out of it. Remind yourself who you want to be, who you're capable of becoming, and then act like it, think like it, move like it, speak like it. Because every second you choose strength, you bury the weaker version of yourself 6 feet deeper. Nobody's gonna hand you the life you want. Nobody owes you greatness. You either build it or you don't. But just remember, every day you stay weak
is a day you chose it.
and every day you choose power is a day you move one step closer to becoming unstoppable. So make your choice. Weakness or work, excuses or effort, tears or tenacity. The world is watching, and more importantly, so is the future version of you. Earn his respect. Now go, work harder. Discipline is the ultimate separator. It's what stands between the life you live and the life you want. Not motivation, not talent, not luck. Discipline. And here's the raw truth. Most people can't stomach. Your emotions are liars. They whisper weakness. They demand comfort. They beg you to stop when things get difficult. But discipline silences that noise. It's the cold, unrelenting voice in your head that says, I don't care
How you feel, get it done.
The average person lives in emotional slavery. If they're tired, they rest. If they're uninspired, they stop. If something's hard, they run. They're ruled by the shifting winds of their mood. But champions, winners, killers, they live above emotion. They execute regardless, because they understand that emotions are fleeting, but results are forever. Every time you say, I don't feel like it, and act on that, you reinforce weakness. You tell your subconscious that your comfort is more important than your goals. And eventually, that becomes your identity. The guy who only works when it's easy. The guy who needs to feel ready. The guy who never finishes. But when you build the discipline to push through, even when you're exhausted, even when you're inspired, that's when you become dangerous. Because discipline creates consistency, and consistency compounds into greatness. One disciplined hour a day builds the ball others dream of. One disciplined month builds the business others envy. One disciplined year builds the mindset that can't be broken. But none of that happens if you keep waiting for motivation. That's amateur talk. Professionals show up whether they feel like it or not. Let me ask you, what if you trained like it? Didn't matter how you felt. What if you wrote, worked, built, fought every single day? Rain or shine, high or low, motivated or dead inside, you'd win. It's that simple. Because while everyone else is riding the emotional roller coaster, you'd be building something unshakable. Discipline makes you inevitable. It turns maybe into absolutely. It turns one day into every day. You want freedom. Discipline is the price. People think freedom means doing whatever you want. That's not freedom. That's chaos. Real freedom comes when you've mastered yourself so completely that nothing external can control you. Not cravings, not distractions, not fear. Discipline makes you untouchable. Look at any person who dominates their field, and you'll find a ruthless level of discipline behind the scenes. Not just in the big moments, but in the quiet ones, the ones no one sees. The early mornings, the late nights, the skipped parties, the missed vacations, the sacrifices made while others slept. That's the price of mastery. That's what separates the talkers from the takers. And here's the brutal part. Discipline isn't fun. It's not supposed to be. It's not sexy. It doesn't give you dopamine hits. What it gives you is something better. Results. Discipline is the grind, the repetition, the monotony. It's the unglamorous repetition of greatness. It's doing the boring work so often, so well, that it becomes second nature. That's when you've won. When your standards are so high, and your habits so sharp, that success becomes the baseline. But you have to earn it. You have to build it brick by brick. Discipline isn't a trait. It's a muscle. And if you don't train it, it weakens. Every time you give in to laziness, that muscle shrinks. Every time you lie to yourself, I'll do it tomorrow. I deserve a break. It's not that important. You chip away at your own power. But every time you follow through, even when it sucks, you build strength, you build pride, you build the type of respect for yourself that no one can give you and no one can take away. Discipline is also brutal honesty. It means calling yourself out when you fall short. It means tracking your time, your habits, your effort. It means looking in the mirror and saying, I could have done more. Most people can't handle that level of self-awareness. They'd rather lie to themselves then face their own lack of discipline. That's why they stay stuck. They confuse activity with achievement. But discipline is about results, not intentions. When you're truly disciplined, you don't need external pressure. You don't need accountability partners. You don't need to be told what to do. You've internalized the mission. You've made your goals non-negotiable. You've burned the escape routes. And now, the only option is forward. That's how killers are made. They don't just want it, they're committed. They don't hope, they prepare. They don't react, they act. And they don't talk, they Discipline doesn't scream. It doesn't post. It doesn't brag. It just delivers. Quietly, consistently, ruthlessly. So if you're still riding the wave of motivation, stop. Motivation is for the masses. Discipline is for the elite. Discipline is what makes you show up when you're dead tired, when you're doubting everything, when the world is silent, and the mirror is loud. It's what pulls you out of bed when comfort says stay. It's what pushes the last rep, the last call, the last word, because anything less would be a betrayal to the warrior you're building. Discipline is war, you versus you, every single day. No one can build it for you. No one can fake it for you. You either live with it, or you live with regret. There is no in between. You choose. So build it, brick by brick, moment by moment, and soon, you won't need to say a word. Your life will scream it for you. I'm not motivated, I'm disciplined. That's why I win. The world doesn't reward the passive. It doesn't hand success to the polite, the hesitant, or the easily shaken. It rewards the relentless, the ones who come to dominate, the ones who play to win, not just to participate. That's the law of the jungle. And make no mistake, life is a jungle. Every single day, you're either moving forward or getting trampled. You either dominate or you get dominated. There is no middle ground, no safe space, no neutral zone. You show up with power, or you get replaced by someone who does. Look around. Everyone is talking. Everyone has ideas. Everyone has dreams. But dreams mean nothing without execution. And execution belongs to the disciplined, the obsessed, the ruthless, not the ones who want it, the ones who take it. That's the only way anything gets done. Because nothing of value is ever given. It's seized. And the ones who seize it aren't the ones asking permission. They're the ones who've already decided, I will not lose. You want something, you have to get aggressive about it. Life won't hand it to you wrapped in velvet. You need to grab it with bloody hands. That means waking up earlier, training harder, learning faster, working longer, saying no to weakness, no to distractions, no to mediocrity. The world is overflowing with average, and average is exactly what you'll stay if you don't commit to domination. This is not about ego, this is about results. You can tell yourself you're doing your best, but results don't lie. You're either building, producing, growing, or you're dying. People love to talk about balance, about peace, about waiting for the right moment. But the right moment is right now. The people who talk about timing are the same ones still waiting, while the others are out there taking action. Domination requires silence, quiet obsession. You don't need to post about your grind. You don't need validation. The moment you start caring about applause is the moment you stop moving forward. You dominate in the dark, so that when the spotlight hits, you've already earned the throne. Real power doesn't beg for attention. It demands respect, through action, through presence, through results. And here's something most won't tell you. Domination isn't pretty. It's not glamorous. It's sacrifice. It's solitude. It's missing events, losing fake friends, and being misunderstood. It's cold mornings and lonely nights. It's showing up when no one is watching, when there's no cheering crowd, just you, the grind, and the question, will I do this even when it's hard? If the answer is yes, every time, you're on the path. If not, prepare to be passed. Everyone wants the throne, but nobody wants the clout. Everybody wants the status, but they forget the war that comes with it. Because domination is war. It's pressure. It's discipline sharpened into a weapon. And that weapon doesn't rest. It doesn't get tired. It doesn't stop when it's enough. Enough is the language of the weak, of the satisfied. But if you're truly committed to greatness, there is no enough. There is only more, better, sharper, stronger, always. This world does not wait for you. While you're overthinking, someone else is executing. While you're hesitating, someone else is deciding. While you're hoping for signs, someone else is making moves. That's the cold truth. You either move now, or you get moved. You either impose your will, or someone else's will is imposed on you. That's life. That's business. That's reality.
So how do you dominate? You do what others won't. You become ruthless with your time. You remove excuses from your vocabulary. You say no to everything that doesn't feed your goal. You show up on the days when everything in your body says stop. You crush your own limits until there are none left. You walk into rooms with your head high because you know you've outworked everyone else in that room. Not in theory, in action, in proof. Domination is a decision. It's not a talent. It's not a gift. It's not luck. It's a choice you make every single day. It's a decision to stop living like prey and become the predator, to stop waiting for your moment and start creating it, to stop playing small and start going all in. Because you don't get what you deserve, you get what you demand, and only the ruthless demand success from life. And here's the final truth. Domination isn't about beating others. It's about beating the old you, the weaker you, the lazier you, the undisciplined, doubting, distracted version of you that's been holding you back. Every time you wake up early, hit the gym, study, build, train, focus, you kill that vision. And every time you skip, delay, indulge or hesitate, you bring it back to life. So choose, every single day, choose. Will you dominate or be dominated? Will you let life shape you, or will you shape life? Will you settle, or will you rise? The choice isn't complicated, it's just uncomfortable. And most people run from discomfort. But not you, not anymore. You know what it takes. Ruthless focus, relentless action, daily discipline, and the quiet burning decision to never, ever be outworked again. Because domination isn't for the lucky, it's for the savage. Now go become one.